Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Larry.
Hi, my name's Gianna.
Hi, I'm Cyndi.
And I'm Josh. And it's great to have you back, Larry and Cyndi. And we have a brand new person here on the panel. Gianna, it is a delight to have you on board.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Gianna works with many of us, and I must say that Gianna is a wonderful person who makes whomever she's talking to feel like the most important person in the room.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Josh. Same to you, honestly. I enjoy seeing you come into work every day.
Thank you. Is there any, you have any thing that you would want people to know about you, or hidden talents?
Oh, I don't have many hidden talents. I'm trying to think. I mean, for book-wise, I love fantasy books. I also like horror books, so I'm glad I was able to partake in this book because Dreamlander is a huge fantasy book, and I'm also excited to see anything else in the future. But, you know, I mean, nothing too exciting about me.
Did you get to see my horror book collection yet?
Tara was showing me before a little bit, but I'd probably afterwards. I'm going to take a look.
Yeah, I have much of my horror is over in that vicinity. This is, since this is your first time in the library.
Yes.
But as you mentioned, Gianna, we're going to be going over Dreamlander by K.M. Weiland. And you have a discussion starter, Cyndi?
I do. First of all, before I even get to that, I just have to say, this is the original cover, but I really love yours, the new one. That is so nice. Yeah, I have the OG cover. Okay.
Did get attention from the silent book clubs that I attended when I was reading this one.
Oh, really?
Okay, so Dreamlander is a portal fantasy that explores the idea of living dual lives in separate worlds. Now, the premise is you have Chris Redston, who is a Chicago reporter, who discovers he can enter the dream world of Leo, a place where he becomes a gifted, which is an individual shaping history. His arrival disrupts the balance, resurrecting an angry prince and sending off a chain of events that threatens both of our worlds. It's crafted in the style of steampunk and fantasy. Okay. With themes of fate and the impact of dreams on reality, as well as the complexity of power. So here were some of my thoughts. Question. So, Chris struggles with the burden of destiny as the gifted one, facing moral choices that impact both worlds. How does his journey explore the balance between personal desire and responsibility to others? And in what ways do Alara and Orias, not Osiris, which is how I kept writing it throughout the book, influence his decisions, and what do their interactions reveal about trust, leadership, and courage?
Take this one, Larry?
After you, Larry.
I'm there.
Yeah, well, I think that is a major theme of the book. Is you know, he's taking responsibility for the wrongs that he has done early on in the book, because he decides that he's trying to reject his destiny, and in turn he spends the rest of the book trying to make up for that. So I think we see him, you know, and that is the struggle, that is the main theme throughout the work. As far as the other characters and how they help him, you know, that's a little bit more complicated.
I think that the whole world of Lyle is a bit complicated because they introduce so many different characters, so many different settings. They don't really do so much as far as elaborating on them is concerned. And I would say that this map here, honestly, is not very helpful.
No, it was not.
It's like they just splat. But, like, to me, pitch was like, it's kind of like you have this script and you have to find a way to fit Danny DeVito in. But I think I think the one thing that did stick out was the very first. She opens up with Václav Havel's quote. He is a Czech leader and playwright. That the real test of a man is not when he plays the role that he wants for himself, but when he plays the role destiny has for him. I think you bring up a good point that is the complete theme of this piece, because he does aspire to be a successful journalist. I mean, the dream world does have him casted as the gifted, which we could also see as the chosen one. In that circumstance, because he's not the only chosen one in their history. But I feel that as far as the other characters are concerned, they kind of, I mean, the ones that are within Lal supplement him with the specific ideas that he needs in order to move forward, but not necessarily, it's more so, Aureus to me really didn't stick out. It was more so people like, there was that one, like that, what was the name? The one that would shrink and...
Yes.
You would think that would, yeah,
The names never stick to me.
because it's treated like a more minor character.
There was like two of them.
He was
right?
meant,
Rex?
Garaway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
Garaway. Garaway, he's in toward the beginning of his expedition, and then is the very last one that he interacts with, aside from, if you want to consider Alara. I think Tyrius was a bit constructed with his journey. Quinnan, to some degree, in trying to speak more reason into because Quinnan is close with Alara, but Alara isn't. Alara is a bit shielded with her demeanor, and then you have Errol, who is one of them, is one of their contemporaries, and then you have his designated family from that area, which they played a role, but it also complicated things because they had different names and they referred to him as a different name too, but they only refer to that different name when it's within their company. Otherwise, he's still Chris to the people that he's in action with.
To everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, to everybody else, even in that world.
Right. Which is strange, because you would think that he would have other people in his life that would have known him before it was revealed that he was the gifted, who would know him by that other name. Yeah. So to me, it's not completely thought out, these ideas.
Yeah, very complicated.
There was something that I thought I wanted to bring up with you, but I wanted to get Gianna into the discussion.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Answer the question.
So, one more time, Cyndi, what was the question specifically, just so I know what to.
The whole question?
Yeah, not the whole question. Just like the main. It was about like the relation.
Okay, so in what ways do Alara and, or I almost said it again, Aureus influence his decisions, and what do their interactions reveal about trust, leadership, and moral courage?
Okay. Yeah. So the main one that I really was interested with was Alara and Chris's relationship. I know that their relationship was kind of like, since she was the, I forget the term specifically. The seeker for him. I knew since, like, from the beginning, even knowing that she had that connection to him since he was a child, that kind of made me think that the influence that they would have on each other was more in depth than I would have thought, especially going into this without knowing much about the book to begin with. But yeah, I definitely think the relationships and like the trust and stuff over time definitely built. But yeah.
I agree that I think that the relationship between Chris and Alara was probably where they wanted to get at the most.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably where we saw her at her strongest within Lale. I think that it was interesting the way that she intermingled the real world and the dream world, and I think that the characters in the real world and the circumstances was very interestingly played out. But I also get that sense that Alara might have also been dreaming. I mean, there's some, that's like an outside idea of mine.
There was something in the book about their perspective on what happens when they sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And how they thought, some of the characters thought you would wake up in this one. So there might be something to it.
Yeah.
Because I have a few, because especially between, I mean, there are moments where she does step aside we wanted to sleep. And also the way that things go at the very end, too.
Yes.
When she does interact with him, when she gives him the number and she does actually work.
She remembers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, where do those people, because they supposedly they have counterparts in the real world. Like we have the father of the main character, Chris, right? He's
Peter.
Yeah, but he's
In the
also
real world.
but he's the same character. He's the same guy, but he's the dream version of himself in the other world. So I mean, I think that's the idea. Is that, but then the gifted is able to, like, I guess, clearly remember both worlds. And I think that's what.
He's the one that's awake in both worlds.
Yeah,
right?
he partakes in both the dream world and the real world and has the memories of it. If I'm
Very exhausting.
not mistaken. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does comment on it.
Yeah.
'Cause especially for him, because he's got a lot on his plate.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like never sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But one thing I wanted to bring up with you is the fact that what do you think about the role that God played? Because they refer to it as the God of all, as they refer to their higher being as the God of all. And there was this segment where they just constantly referred to the God of all, and this is mentioned as being a work of Christian fantasy. But aside from just harping on the fact we got having God on their mind, there really wasn't as much of aside from those references, it wasn't very much. I didn't see much of a reflection of it being, and within as far as the other messages are concerned, it wasn't really much of a. Didn't really strongly connect as being Christian fantasy.
No, in fact, I didn't even know it was a Christian fantasy until this afternoon. When I started to watch your video that you did about this work, and I said, "Oh, it's Christian fantasy."
But when she actually plays it down, she doesn't go heavy.
No, what I would
Anything's
say about it is that it's kind of how a lot of people look at God in this life. You know, it's like he's up there and he's got his plan and we don't know it. You know, but it's like, you know, just kind of like vague and kind of cut off from everything going on. Although, you know, everybody has a sense that they have, you know, their destiny to fulfill, but that's about it. You know, it doesn't.
In a way, I could see and respect the fact that she is able to put something so she can put forth her message, but in a way that everybody can relate to. But I also get that sense that is she trying to be direct with us, or I don't know what she's trying to do sometimes because she does. But then again, you could also look at the flip side and say that there are people that think a lot more about God in times of desperation.
Yes, that's true.
That's
And
very
that,
true.
and I think with Alara, we have her. I think she's probably the most, you know, the one that's the most relatable as far as that's concerned, as far as struggling to believe in God and during times of trouble, you know, wanting to turn to Him but not really believing. You know, I think that's probably where writing is the most successful as far as that goes, because that's a very relatable phenomenon.
To me, she's not a happy person, but I think and a lot has to do with the fact that she was a searcher for Harrison 20 years earlier when she was 9 years old, and we know that he was not a good person.
Yeah.
That he used this opportunity to take advantage, and not only did it harmed him, and it also harmed them.
Yeah.
And she saw the red flags. I actually
Right, and the last thing she wants to repeat.
Yeah,
Yes.
she didn't want to repeat what happened with the previous one.
No, yeah, and it said that she sensed him like the smell of the vile chemicals used by the embalmers in Glen Arden slums. Perhaps the taste of him in her mind had been only the foreshadowing of his traitorous personality. And then I think she had a better scent. She sensed better with
With
Chris,
yeah.
like
Yes.
some like.
But it's still less in the back of her head.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Harrison was the one that laid out all the groundwork, but he still was not a.
Yeah, he was in it for himself. And,
Yes.
And you know, and that is kind of that's sin, and the ramifications of sin are ever folding outward. You know, so that when you make a decision that is wrong, there's consequences for that you see and you don't see. So that's another thing that I think the book kind of illustrates well, is that idea, because we have Harrison's sin affects Alara in a way for her entire life, and then when Chris makes his decision, similarly in the beginning of his awakening, you know, the whole rest of the book is him trying to redeem himself. So
To me, it feels like he doesn't want to be bothered, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be. He's happy with where he's at, and he doesn't want to be involved in this. And then Pitch touches his sword, and so he's Pitch's property now.
Yeah.
He's a slave
Yeah.
or servant. Certainly,
Yeah.
that's the term.
That
but-
kind of a reluctance to join
Mhm.
the story
Yeah, he basically
is common for
yeah.
Hero Quest.
yeah, in the beginning, yeah, but
Yeah.
then once he realizes what he's done and that there are, you know, real ramifications for it, then that's when he decides that he wants to, you know, be redeemed. So, you know, it's a matter of, at the time that you make a mistake, you may not understand what the consequences for that action are going to be until, you know, and it might not even seem like a big deal to you because, you know, you're not interested in whatever it is, you know, like it's just like, oh, whatever, I'm going to do this thing, and it's not going to matter, it's not going to hurt anybody, it's not going to cause any problems, and then you see this kind of snowball.
Mhm.
And I think that's true to life too. So in those areas, I think that it's very much reflective of reality
Mm.
and how things actually work, especially sin.
Mhm. Where he talks about Mactal.
Who?
Mactal, the shrink that
Oh man.
Oh,
the major antagonist, the
Yeah, like-
prime
Yeah.
antagonist of the piece.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's power hungry. He's driven by a desire to rule both worlds. So you know, he's like the epitome of evil, I guess.
And it's, I mean, I was trying to pick at his character in the way that he embodies I mean, he's doing it as a psychologist, and he's getting his way through other people's thoughts.
Mm.
And Chris is the one that leaks to him that whatever he touches comes with him. So when he falls asleep, he holds on to his wrist. Thus, I'm getting that whole idea that your key antagonist in the dream world is a shrink or a psychologist. So it might lead to the fact that, like, you have other people's thinking against the thought of Christianity, perhaps.
That's interesting. That is very interesting.
If you want to get deeper, the corruption within medicine,
Yeah.
Right.
I
like,
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
like, but I mean, granted, he does say he's a psychologist, so he can't prescribe medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's possible. I mean, the secularization of society has run, corresponded well, I think, with the rise of psychology as a discipline, especially, the more atheistic Freudian strain. So I would say it's possible that that's where she's going with it. But at the same time, the study of the mind and psychology is not necessarily anti-Christian. It's just,
No.
If
it's just it can be, and it can lead
if
people.
if it's abused or if it's being used to take advantage of other people,
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
psychologists and psychiatrists are by law prohibited from sharing any information about their patients,
Yeah.
and, or using that to judge or take advantage. So they're very cautious with that. Even social workers.
Yeah. And Catholic priests too are held to a
Yes.
similar standard.
Yes.
When it comes to when you're in the court, the four people that they cannot that you have that share confidence with what you say to them are your romantic partner, your shrink, your priest, or your clerk, whomever is. So it would be rabbi, or and then the other one is your lawyer. So what you say to them cannot be they can't question them in the court of law, whereas other people they can. So, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up, Cyndi?
Well, I've been thinking too. Now that you mentioned it before, and since she is a Christian writer, when it comes to Christian writers writing something that is supposed to be Christian themed, which this is, and she apparently went soft on it, just basically letting her characters live out on the page. But should Christians who write, should they lean more heavily into issues of faith, or should they just let their characters live out on the page and let the reader pick up what they do?
I was thinking about that one anyway before you were saying something, Tara. I think that the latter is the
I would agree.
I
yeah,
agree as
because
well.
I mean, I've been sometimes I'll when I'm looking to do something, I'll watch some Mr. Rogers, which I could find episode, and he was a Presbyterian minister, and
Yes.
he the way that he depicted Christian values, but not necessarily being direct about them, was brilliant. And I think that because it means that these are values that apply to everybody. And there are places where it is necessary to incorporate your Christian values. If you want something that's more direct, you can watch Veggie Tales or
Yes.
Sister Angelica.
Yes.
That Larry likes to binge watch.
What? I never even heard of Sister Angelica. Is that's that nun?
Yeah, the
I
nun that-
would-
On EWTN?
Yeah.
I don't watch it.
She's a little much, but I sometimes watch her.
Yeah, she's kind of a little bit off a rocker a little bit these days, to be honest with you.
She's not even alive anymore, as far as I know.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to do
maybe
some
I'm thinking of
research.
somebody else.
Hmm.
Yeah, anyway, I don't watch her, and no, but I would tend to agree, Cyndi, that I think if you're writing, your primary motivation should be to tell a good story, and I think that if you look at the world through a Christian lens, and you can't help but write it that way, it's going to be Christian.
It's gonna leak out, yeah.
On everywhere throughout, but not be preachy. Like if you're preachy, then nobody's gonna really care to read it.
No, unless you're writing
Yeah.
about a preacher.
Very
Then-
niche
Yeah.
audience.
then
Yeah, but there's that whole that expression about preaching to the converted or preaching to the choir. And I think that's how it would come across as like
a book written in Christianese.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, of course, that's for novels and stories and stuff like that. Obviously, if you're right, there's Christian writing in another sense, which is like books on, apologetics and stuff like that, which would be
Christian theology.
yeah,
Right.
or apologetics,
Or
which is
if you're reading Father Brown.
yeah,
Sure.
But, I mean, there's a time, I mean, there's a specific genre for that kind, and, I mean, this could be it, but I think I like the direction that she took, aside from that little bit of, the complexity that she had with herself, but but if it's applied to the fact that that's the way people think in desperation, then
Yes.
it worked.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Josh. I think that I like the way she did it too. I didn't know it was a Christian book either until I believe I did watch your video too, Cyndi. But I think that I think it's better that she allowed the characters to write themselves out on the page rather than put herself into this very give the Christian theme. I think even up to interpretation is a good thing too for everybody to be able to interpret it the way they want.
Right. Because you want to tell the story,
Yeah.
show the story, show the characters' lives, but you don't want to sermonize.
Yeah.
yeah. You got to meet people where they're at. So I think by just having the story do the lifting, and people will be able to get something out of it. Whereas if you're coming on like the preacher's wife, then it's gonna people are just gonna
Put it
shut
down.
off.
Yeah.
They're just gonna shut off from it if they're not ready to receive anything. Then they're not gonna receive anything. Whereas this way, where it's subtle, you can still get something across to people because their guard's down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think so
That's
too.
a nice, yeah, I like that.
Do we have any final thoughts? Yes.
I don't.
Is anything else you would wanted to bring up, or did we cover?
No, but I think we covered everything pretty well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Alrighty. How would we rate? You wanted to say something before we went to the ratings?
Oh no, I'm good.
No.
Already.
Yeah,
How would we rate this? 0 to 5 stars. Half stars permitted. Larry.
I'd probably go 1.5. It's not my thing at all. I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it could have been probably half as long. I think it could have used an editor. And there's a lot of exposition, a lot of like, where important details or important events that happen in the story are treated at the same level as like very trivial details, which makes it kind of hard to follow at times. For example, when Alara's father is killed in battle, like that I didn't even realize it happened until after.
I got
Yeah.
I got that sense too. Exactly.
Yeah. So I just feel like
I agree back.
wasn't a great piece of work. I would have not read it if it wasn't an obligation for this. I would have put it down probably after the first couple of chapters. So it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I would have put in time out if you
Yeah.
did that.
Was it
Yeah.
my rating? I would say I'd probably give it like a 3.5. I have to agree. I think it definitely could have been about half as long. Definitely could have used a little more concising. But I did enjoy the fantasy aspect. I did see the length of the book, and that scared me a little bit. But I was actually quite intrigued throughout the whole thing. And again, I really thought the relationship between like Alara and Chris and the back and forth between reality and like the dream world and all of that was very, very interesting. A little hard to keep up with sometimes, but I did think it was very interesting.
Cyndi?
Yeah, and I would probably have to say that given the fact that it was a little bit hard to follow at times, it is, and I've read it now twice, wasn't easy the second time, but I, of course, am a huge fan, so I'm a little biased, so I'm going to give her a 4.
Okay, is that the rating you gave her in the original?
I don't remember what I gave her in the video.
I should have checked that out as well, because I edited that video too.
Yes.
I just edit so many videos though that
I don't recall what I gave it, but I probably was more generous then.
I'm giving it 3.5 because it still was very engaging. I was inclined to keep going, but I'm very much in agreement with Gianna, where the strong points were the characters of Chris in Lael and Alara, and as well as the events that took place in the real world, and also what the issues in Lael and the response that it had in the real world. But I also feel that it was very indecisive at times. It was very, the way that it was put together could have been a bit better. The characters, the setting. There were so many names being thrown at you, so it was very challenging to
Too big
keep
of a
track.
cast, yeah.
But I think that those were that's where I see my thoughts on this book. Doesn't she? She also writes. She also does writing. manuals,
She
too.
does. Yeah, she has a website. It's helpingwritersbecomeauthors.com, and she has a whole series of writing how-tos, which I reviewed for the channel.
Yeah, that's what I recall, and that's where I first recall.
So yeah, I would expect nothing less than to go a little bit lower on the actual fiction rate, because she's someone who teaches other people to do this and to do well, and I'm a huge fan.
Mm.
So then it comes someone who's like not quite there.
Okay. And I think it's also worth noting that, Larry, this is the shortest your facial hair's been since season 2.
You would remember that. You remember what date it was?
It was in August of 2014.
And I believe that
It
is
was-
probably actually true, isn't
It was the Monday of the week I was on vacation.
We'll fact check it.
it? Yeah, we can actually probably get the exact date.
Actually, it was also the day that Robin Williams died, because after we finished filming, Charlie and I went to Boston's, and it was breaking news that Robin Williams had
Boston's
Wow.
was still around.
taken his life.
That's an indication of how long ago it was there, is that Boston's was still open.
Yeah.
So,
But,
wow, okay, yeah, all right. I guess
So-
that's worth noting, yeah.
So what happened? Why did you get rid of
There's
your
a-
beard?
I had an accident with a weed whacker.
Ooh.
I'm joking.
Oh. It's a good story to tell.
Yeah. No, I don't know, I just wanted to do something different, see what I look like under all that hair.
Yeah, I've grown facial hair, but then I get rid of mine quicker than you. But if you're interested in reading this book, here is my copy of Dreamlander. It is a newer edition,
So here's the OG.
and I want to thank you guys for tuning into this video, and be sure to join us next time for the season 18 finale here on Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.